All right, this is Coach Lebeter. This is Delta Math. This is the 8.1 simplifying radical section that we assign. And so I'm going to do the skills. If you look right here, there's some skills here. We're going to do these. And so we're going to do, I'm going to do a video for each one of these. All right, so the first one I'm going to start with is simplifying radicals. It's guided. All right, so this one's kind of nice. It says go step by step to reduce the radical. Now, so you can pick any two numbers to simplify the radical. Okay. And so this is kind of I like using something called the factor tree. A lot of teachers like to teach the perfect squares, find the biggest perfect square that you can multiply. So like, for example, you could sit here and go 4, can 4 go into that? So we could put a 4 here. That's a perfect square, but some people try to find the biggest, and this could be 20. All right. So I hit that and I hit try. All right, now, if you notice there's a 4 on the outside, that's because when it's a perfect square like 4, what number times itself gives me 4 is 2. So that number would be 2. Now this one is still going to be 20. All right, so we're going to leave this one 20. All right, now they want us to break the 20 up. All right, so you got to think of two numbers that could multiply together that give you 20. And my brain is thinking 4 and 5. You might be thinking other numbers, and you could use them if you wanted to. So we use 4 and 5. Now, remember the square root of 4 is 2. All right, it's a perfect square. And because that's a 2, if you notice there's already a 2 on the outside of the radical, okay? It's 2 square root of 4. So this 2 here, whatever you pull out of here will get multiplied. That's why there's a little dot right there. And so we'll put a 2 here because the square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 5, what number times itself gives me 5? There's not any, so we'll just leave that as a 5. So my answer here is going to be 2 times 2, which is 4, with the square root of 5. So my answer is going to be 4 square root of 5, and that's what we're going to put here. 2 times 2 is 4, because it's outside with outside and inside with inside. So we're going to put those together, and there's my answer. All right, so we've done this one. So we'll try another one. These are easier done on paper. I mean, you could do these on paper, probably easier. I like doing a factor tree on these guys. All right, and so here's another one. So I got 240. All right, so I got to think of two numbers multiplied together to give me 240. All right, it ends in a 0, so I'm thinking 10 automatically. Now, sometimes when it asks this, it'll say that's not a perfect square. They want you to find a perfect square first. So 10 times 24 will not work. All right, so let me show you my screen. All right, so this is how I would do it if I was to work this. All right, so I'm going to show you my screen so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so if you see here, I have 240. I wanted to use 10 and 24, and neither one are a perfect square. Remember, a perfect square is when it's like 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 5 is 25, 6 times 6 is 36, that's 49, that's 64, that's 81, and that's 100. And I'm just going to stop there because you know what I'm talking about. All right, so I like doing it this way. Some teachers like teaching it this way, and some kids like learning it this way. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it this way so I can save myself some. So two numbers multiplied to give me 10 is 2 and 5. All right, so two numbers that multiply together that give me 24, you could say is 4 times 6, 2 times 12. You can pick whatever numbers you want to. Bring these down. Don't leave them up on top. A lot of kids will forget about them and they'll leave them up here and they'll miss it. What two numbers multiply to give me 4? Well, it's 2 times 2. And what two numbers give me 6? Again, that's 2 times 3. All right, we're circling pairs. So all I want to do is circle pairs. So here's a pair here, and then here's a pair, and then here's a pair. All right. So a pair, so when you circle a pair, that pair represents 2s. It's a pair of 2s. So this here is a pair of 2s. So I'm going to put 2 here times 5. This is a pair of 2s. So that's another 2, and that's a 3. All right, so I'm going to multiply these two together. So it's 4, the square root, and then 5 times 3 is 15. So my answer is 4, the square root of 15. So every time you have a pair, so like we had 2 of them, all right, we have a pair of 2s here and a pair of 2s here. We multiply them, and that's how we got 4. Okay, see how we got this? These two pair, let me do this, you can see it. These two pair make a 2. These two pair make a 2. You multiply the 2 that make pairs, or the ones you got circled, and the ones that aren't circled go inside. So make sure you focus on this. The ones that are not circled get multiplied and go inside. The ones that we circled, we take the pairs that they have. So this is a pair of twos. This is a pair of twos. So 2 times 2 is 4. All right, so my answer is 4 square root of 15. All right, so I'm going to go back to my assignment. And we're going to say 4. Oh, what they want me to do it this way. We'll say 4. I'm picking 8. We're going to say 8. No, that wouldn't work too. 16. I'm sorry. 16. And the other number was, let's see, 16 and 15. Okay, so what I did here is I forgot that it wants the perfect square first. And so I've circled this. This is 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2 more is 8, and 8 times 2 is 16. Those are the ones that are circled, and then that's 15. So I'll do the next one like this so that way you can kind of see it better. All right, so we got 15 times 16. We hit that. What number times itself gives me 16? That is 4. And we don't have any numbers that give me 15, so we leave 15 there. And then that will be my answer. All right, so hopefully they'll give me another one of these, and so we can do another one. Okay, here's 128. All right, so 128. All right, so 128, I'm going to show my paper so that way you can see what I'm doing. All right, so 128. So I got to think of 2 numbers multiplied together that'll give me 128. Well, that is a multiple of 4. It's even. I could do 2 or I could do 4. So I'm going to do 2. 2 goes into 12. 6 times 2 goes into 8, 4 times. All right, if you notice, this is already a perfect square. See it right here? 8 times 8. So I know 2 times 8 times 8. So that's a pair. Okay, so I know my answer is going to be 8 on the outside, 2 on the inside. All right, so but we need 2 times 64. So we're going to go back to our, and we're going to put 64 and 2. And it doesn't matter which one you put in first or second. All right, and then what's the square root of 64? We said was 8 and 2. Let me submit and try. We're going to do one more and then let you try it. All right, 96. All right, so 96. So I'm going to show you my screen. I'm telling you, it's better to have a piece of paper do this. All right, that's an even number, so I'm going to divide it by 2. So you take your calculator, say 96 divided by 2, and you get 48. Bring down my 2. All right, 2 numbers multiply together give me 48, and I'm going to just think 6 times 8 because I just happen to know those. Then 2 numbers gives me 6 is 2 times 3, and 2 numbers give me 8 is 4 times 2. And I'm going to keep going because I want to show you what I was talking about earlier. So I have listed all the prime numbers. Now I want to circle them in groups of 2. 1, 2. All right. So the 2 ones that I circled, I can multiply for this problem. I can multiply 2 times 2 is 4, or we can say this is 4, that's 4. Together they make 16. And the inside is 3 times 2, which is 6. Remember, whatever's not circled goes inside. Whatever is on the inside. Now both of these should be square roots. I'm not thinking. Okay. So here we go. Now, if you see this, the square root of 16 really is 4. So my answer here is really going to be this 4 times the square root of 6. That's my real answer. But we're going to put this in this delta map because that's what it's asking. All right, so here we go. 16 and 6. Okay, try. All right, now what number times itself gives me 16? And you should say 4. And then this here is 6 because we don't have a number times itself that gives me 6. All right. And so you try, and this is exactly what we had on our paper for the square root of 6. All right. Now that's how you do it. And so I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up. So that's basically what you do. So if you have any questions, you can email us.